Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm at my sewing box today. I've got 3 little projects I need to get done. So I was just going to let you sew with me. So you've seen the stockings I've made before. I don't think this is the fabric that I have. It's just some scraps that I had left over from drapes years ago that nobody ever claimed. This one is a silk, very beautiful. I think I had this on my stockings. I've made some others for some other people, and I think I've used this. I don't have a pattern. I bought this. I don't know if you can see. I kind of used it for a pattern. That way I could kind of look at it and see how I want to do something. But it was all burlap, and it's really thick. So I really didn't like the way that looked, but I kind of like the size of it. So that's where I got my pattern. I bought this at Hobby Lobby, I think for half off. So I got it for like, or it may have been 75% off. So that way I knew how they sewed it together and everything like that. Made me a pattern. I made it a little bit bigger, I think. This is part 1, and I put where I put my ruffle and cuff, and this is the cuff size to go over it. I have my seam allowance and everything over here. So I either put trim or whatever on that. And then this is the one I made up for, I don't know why there, that's better. I made for when I do my husband's or the man's. I kind of done an elf one, and I used the same top on that. And I just kind of go with the flow. There's no set way. What I'm going to do now is roll this out. I've got 3 stockings to make. Okay. So I need to make 2 of these out of this, and then I'm going to make 1 out of the red silk, because it's going to be a man's, a woman's, and then a pet. So I want it to be, and it's a male. So I think I want to do this on each side with this red in the middle. Actually, let's just fold this over so I can cut 2 every time. I don't have to sew. Try to save as much as I can. So this will be 1. And sometimes I put my pins down just so it won't, I've got pinholes all in it. I guess I need to make me one out of fabric. I may do that, but I'm dressed to go painting today, and it's not ready to paint. My brother is working on sanding and stuff, so I decided I'd work on this. This was a little bit more important. I need to get them to hang them and get some use out of them this Christmas. Uh-oh, I didn't sew it, cut through that second row. So here's 1. I'm just going to put these here, and I need 1 more just like this, and then I'll cut the other one. Let's scoop this down and get 1 more out of this. Let's put it here. Okay, 2 down. 1 more to go. I'll cut that off right there. And that, I won't need that. Oh yes, I need the cuff. Okay, I do need to cut 2 pieces of cuff, so I could probably use this right here for my cuff. And it's kind of shaped funny, I know. I think I can get 2 out of there. I think I need 2 pieces of this too, so I can sew it in. Let me just go ahead and cut this off. I know that's not the best way to do it. Let's see, that's the top, so I need it. And you can put anything. I've got ruffles I've done before in the same trim. Whatever you want to put, or just do a plain seam and leave it simple. It's up to you if how much you want to add or do or don't. Okay, so there's 1. So I need 1 more for the other one. And this is the top. I'm putting a little snitch it there so I know that's where it goes. Yes. Let's do one right here real quick. Double it over. Past the top, we'll smidge it there to the center. Okay, so now let's go do the red one. As you can tell, I've already cut stuff out of this. It's not that wide. It's got little seams all in this. I don't know, you can't really tell too much how it's all sewed. So let's see about just going ahead and doing this. And it's not woven straight, this is silk, so it is definitely not straight by no means. But the finished product, you never even notice it. Just as long as I don't get that selvage over there, because it looks a little bit different colored, but linen. Okay. Every one of these I've made has been completely different. I've never made two alike. Well, if it's a set, they look similar, but I kind of mix and match stuff so they still don't look alike. Just coordinates. I don't need all these extra little pieces there. That's trash. Okay, so this would be my girl one. Now I need a band for it. And I'll just fold this over right there. And do that one. And that's the center. Okay. Two of this one. 2 pieces for that one. 2 pieces for this one. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do on that. I think with this one, I want to use this and see if I can get the truck on it. Since it's a male, and have the truck on the cuff. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm not even paying attention. I'd like for it to say Merry Christmas, but I don't know if it will, so we just may have the truck. You know what? I could actually cut and put me several trucks across there and do that. Maybe have me 3 little trucks. They would fit back. They may would fit. That would be cute. And just have trucks. I may do that. I'll sew me some of those together and just have trucks on it. Could gather it, but that's gonna be too much. No. Okay, let's do the trucks on this one. And since this one's the feminine one, do I want to use to bring in that? I think I like the white bringing in with this, so we may put this on the bottom to kind of break it up so you see the cuff. And then the other one, not for sure. I had some red thread. Where is red ribbon? Sometimes I'll put this and have some red ribbon on it, but I don't see that at the moment. And this, I don't know if that would be pretty. I don't know. Maybe see if I can find a red ribbon. That's too brown. Then I'm trying to decide if I want to put some lining in that to make it stiffer. This is what I usually use for that. It is a soft interlining, but it gives it a little bit of, I don't know. You see how it's fuzzy. It's kind of like a velvet, not a velvet, a felt, but it's really soft and it's thick. It thickens it up and gives it body. So I'm putting 2 at a time so I don't have to come back. It just saves time. I don't even think you're seeing what I'm doing, are you? Sorry. So I've got those. Now I'll see this one. Kind of sticks to it when you iron it a little bit. Kind of holds it. Which helps. This will just make it feel so much more plush and durable and last longer. We just need one more. Pull these 2 out so I can lay it there. I didn't iron the silk one because you don't want to iron on it. It has to be a very low setting. Also with that sewed in area that's kind of like patchwork, it flattens them out and it looks terrible. So I do not iron that. I will iron the seams as I sew some, but that's it. I will not press any of that red silk fabric because it'll mess it up. It just will look tacky. These things sell on Etsy for $50 plus, and that's just regular fabric. That's not including silks and stuff. Like, I've got more expensive fabric, so it's probably gonna go up. But just a regular, cheaper fabric that most don't use, they sell them for $50 and up. So there's no telling how much just this fabric right here was a yard, or this one, because this one's kind of a thin woven linen type. So there's my pieces. So right now I got to thread my machine. Box pleat it in those areas. I guess that would have been kind of cute, but I'm already just doing this, so we won't worry about the little box pleats. See how he'll look like that. And yes, I back tack a lot. I don't like my stuff to come undone. I like my sewing to be together and not fall apart. And then I'm gonna do one more, and then I think I'm gonna let it go on around the back with just the normal Merry Christmas, because you won't never see it. Okay, so I've got several of those that should go around it, and then we'll finish. And I trim all my strings and stuff as I go. I can't stand to have to clean up later. Okay, so my stockings, I'm going to unpin this and put one of these on the back of this. And that one's still kind of wrinkled, but it'll be okay. So that way, we'll just start sewing them together. Trim your threads. I like to back tack as I go around here because I trim it really close to the seam, showing my curves. I always back tack extra. And I kind of go by, this is a little bit bigger, as you say sometimes, like it was wrinkled. So I go by the inside of my fabric or what my seam is, so don't look at the outside. It may be a little bigger looking, but I'm going by the inside. That's why I roll this back, so I can see that I'm getting about a 1/2 inch seam. You can tell how much it's off there. And yes, I'm still back tacking a little bit. I just like for my stuff to stay safe. I don't want anything coming apart. So see, I got that much. So I have my finger here, so I go by, I know that's where it's at. And if you don't do this much, cut it off exactly, that's great, but I don't have time to go back and keep trimming and doing. I've got too much to do. take up a 1/2 inch seam everywhere I go, whatever I do. So, what I like to do here, since this is a little this bulky, I trim it off a little bit since it's sticking out, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Well, that didn't look very nice, did it? Okay, so here, these are my little snippers, because I don't know if you can see, it has a small curve. I do trim just a little bit, and then that's why I back tack really good, because if you cut this out, it will make it look nicer and it won't be bulky. And I trim this down just a little bit, so it'll be, because that's all excess that was a little too large. So I put me a few little clippies here, just to make it turn and do, because this is kind of an angle. And it just, when you iron it and press it, any little turns looks better. And I will cut this one off, because this one has to turn a pretty good bit, and it looks so much better if it doesn't have all that excess in there. And then when I let it get a little larger, I put my little clippies, and it will press down really good. Okay, so let's turn it. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it or not. Wasn't paying attention to what my camera was doing. I need a camera to follow me around that can move and keep up with me. So I have to go in there with my hand, and once you press all that out, that'll look really nice, and it won't be going anywhere. So there's one. So we got a lot of pressing to do, but there's one. So we got 2 more of these to do. One this color and one the other. Now I've got to figure out the band. It's been a while since I've made it, so I can't remember. I don't like to have it open. I like it to wrap all the way around like that. But there's a trick. I don't remember which way you sew it first to get that done. And this is the top down here. I am going to put me a pin here so I'll know it too, because I'll end up wanting to sew the wrong thing, even though I have a little clippy there. This is the top. Okay. So, I'm not taking up quite as much on this. And I'm not putting that seam in this one because I'm not sure if I've got to rip this out yet. Good thing about sewing, you can take it out and do it again over and over and over. But this is just to make it lined, so when it goes around this, it's like that. And you got it's lined and it's pretty and it's thick. It's got 2 layers of that. So here's my thing. I need this together. So as you can see, it's not going to go together like that neatly. So it's going to have to be sewn like this. So you can always put your pieces together and see how they have to be before you do them. Let's get all of our seams together. I put everything the way it should be. There's a string I forgot to clip. Folded, and I need to fold it down like this together, and I'm going to press this out real well. So let's go get that done. This and do the tip to the ends and get that where it goes, where it really needs to be. And these in there. And then you can do it under. Oh yeah, I like to clip this out. Let me get some scissors because that's too bulky when you turn it. You don't need 4 layers of stuff in there with that. Well, actually it's about 6 because you got the seam on top. So that will make it turn and look nicely and feel the same thickness. So. Okay, there's our band. I open the seams back and the back here, so it'll lay down flat. Seam there where I sewed the trucks together. So I open it up. One more seam, and then the rest is just going to go and finish out around. Until we get back around where we got to join it. And I started far enough that I can away from it, that I have plenty of room to stop and join it and then finish sewing it out. Here and stop. I like to have plenty of room to work. Clean up anything I need to. So I need these to go together somewhere, and I'd like for them to go together over this seam, so it kind of looks like I'm cutting in a 1/2 inch seam allowance there, and then a 1/2 inch seam allowance there. When I sew it together, it should have the same. So we go over here, sew it. Trim the threads. Let's see if that'll work. Yes. I'm gonna open my seam allowance in there so it'll flatten out also. Because this is already thick here. Remember, I trimmed it. It had lots of 6 or 8 thicknesses, so it's gonna be kinda, I'm gonna hand do it over, or hand turn it over that and make sure I don't mess up my machine. Because I don't like to break needles. And watch your fingers. I have sewed over mine. It's been years ago, but don't keep your fingers in front. It will sew through them, nail and all. Okay, so I'm going to trim up my backs. And now I need to top stitch this. This isn't exactly what I was thinking, but it will be fine. On a cute little top. And I may put something else up there. You know what? What do I have? Maybe it'd look cute trimmed out with some brown. Or maybe this. This kind of matches it. Kind of looks like snow. Ooh, that would set it off. So since I am top stitching it, I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch this little thing over it. Finish it out and make it look more finished. I like a finished look. So let's top stitch with this. Not a lot of room to play with here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of laying it on top, making sure I'm going through that second one, and I'm just putting one row on it. It will hold it plenty and look really good when I get through with it. I just got to make sure I get through all those layers of ribbons. You just have to do a little bit at a time, make sure it's straight, everything underneath. This is going to finish it out. That's going to make it look, I was just worried. It just did not have a finished look to me. Everything's straight. And you just keep doing a little bit at a time until you get it done. So if you can lap over your ribbons, it'll be fine too. And I got to hand do over this because we've got 2 more extra layers of stuff. And we are through with that part. Let's see how it looks. Let's see where the side is. The seam's the side. I just like sewing that through the other thing, but yeah. I think that's going to make it look a lot better. What do you think? Okay. So while I'm thinking about it, I need to go cut some of these out because when I sew it through the stocking has this many layers and this, so that is like really bulky. And I don't need that much bulk. So that'll take off a couple of layers there. And I want to take off a couple of layers in my stocking here. And then on this side, Okay, now we know this goes on this side and this goes on this. This is how I do it because I can't remember. I need this and this to be sewed inside like this. So when I get it, this is how you're supposed to sew it. Let me flip all this. This is going to be on the inside and flipped over. Because it doesn't look right when you're first doing it, but you got to do everything kind of backwards in sewing. And these and try to make it where it looks straight. And I go ahead and get the center of this one. And then we know that's the center because it's got a seam over there. I'll put pins on this one. And then I'll work it out, make sure it's going to go together smoothly. And yes, my stuff's sticking out a little bit still, but I didn't trim it. You can trim all that, but I just go ahead and sew it. It's fine. Okay, so I sew the front first, so it will be right, and then work it around. And I'm only doing the width of my foot. Really, I don't have a lot of bulk in there to cut out when I turn it. See, it went over that seam really easy. And there was a whole bunch of seams. So I gotta make sure I'm catching everything on my other side with this side. And yes, I feel like the back takes on because I like to pull and iron. You just keep working it all around, making sure everything's pinned together properly and moved. Sometimes it slips, so you move everything around where it needs to be. Until you just get all the way around. Circles is the most challenging thing to do, is our circular stuff. It's not that it's a circle, but it's more aggravating to do, but than just a straight seam, like a square or a pillow or something like that. Flag, so I'm going to try to work it into the back. Actually, looks like it's pretty good. I don't have any. Okay. Made it all the way around. And you can serge it off however you like. Okay, so we flip it. It should be on that side. It should look like that. And we should have a cuff. So now we've got the iron. And I've got to iron all this. I didn't press any of this. Sometimes I press it all before I go, so it's all neat and done, but I didn't this time. This thing about me making custom stuff, I do everything differently. Probably backwards, probably hard, I don't know, but And see, there's no puck or anything when you clip all that. You don't have to worry about anything. You cut a little bulk out, then you clip it, and it should be good to go. Now this part's really thick. So I'll just roll that down. And then you have a Christmas stocking. And I make little loops, and then I go back in there on this selvage, and I'll put me a loop that I sew in there that you can hang on it. And then I'll show you the other little piece that I do for the name tags. Here's one. Got all the little trucks on it, so to be cute. Okay, one down. Let's get some more done. Okay, we're on the red one, and I decided I'd put my trim on first, so I wouldn't have to do it later. That way, when I sew my seam, it will be on here. So I need this on this side. And I'm going to open it up that way. I've got to figure out how far I want my trim. Do I want it in the middle, or I think I want it toward the bottom. So I need it this way so I can start sewing. I gotta leave a selvage. I think I'm gonna leave a little bit showing so to have a little red and it'll make it pop. So I'm going to go up 1 inch and sew this on. And then it can land wherever it wants to. I want one more seam in it, just further up here, just to make sure it's holding and it doesn't flop over. This is going to be the back of that. Sure it's all together. I might move just a little bit on the very back, so it'll be okay. Make sure all that's there. That matches up. So now we need this, and I'm not ironing that, but you can do enough with your hands because that will mess all that little trim up. I'm going to go over like this. this should have a lined cuff now. Yes, I think that made it pop by going up just a little. So what do you think? I think so. I like the red on the bottom. Okay. So now that this is done, now I need to do the stocking. So we're doing the stocking the same way. I need this second layer on top of this one. Say the bottom might have stopped. It sounded a little different. They usually tell when they stop. And it's usually down in the middle of something. Backtrack a little bit as we go because I trim. Make sure all that's kind of where it goes. Nobody may back tack and do everything that I'm doing. It's fine, but I'm just very particular about it. So ever so skinny stitches, I kind of still do it around all my secular stuff. I was afraid that was gonna fall off. Okay. So let's get back on the straight side. Sometimes it hesitates. I'm running over those little seams in there where all that is, so it's hesitating. It kind of, this presser foot kind of gets stuck, but it's okay. Okay, this is a small, it's not a lot, but it keeps it from, it had a small curve in it and it works better. Ta-da! Stocking. You can buy any stockings and tear them apart completely or whatever and lay them on fabric and cut them out, whatever you want to do. You don't have to buy patterns. Or you can have an old stocking, garage sale stocking, anything. And you tear up anything and make a pattern. So, let's see, where is my thing? So this is the seam, so it goes on this seam side. I'm gonna lay it up here because this is how it's supposed to look. And these seams need to go together. I never learned with patterns, so this is probably crazy to everybody else. Not crazy to you. Okay. So this seam and this seam. Where's both of them? There they are. I'm gonna make sure that looks right. And I'm also press your edge right to the edge. Not take up any extra. I want my cuff the length it is, not go shorter. Pull my pin out. Over my seam a few times there. Okay. My pin's moved just a little bit there. Need this one to go here. This one here. working your way around. Pull that tack a little bit, of course. And I need to make sure all this is together here. That tack here on this other steamer. Oh, good. Halfway there. We'll have one more done. You just have to kind of play with it all. Get it all there. It'll work out. Get the bottom, that layer, and that layer. And this should be enough. Got that together. And we are finished with this one. Pull this over. Yes. And we have another one. I'm going to try to get a little bit of this pressed. Not much, just try to do my tip inside there. And my iron's off, so it's just barely warm right now, so that way it won't press any of that red. I just want some of that white done. Got a string there sticking out there. But I'm gonna roll that down there. Roll that down. So on the inside there, it'll be okay. Okay, so I like a tie for this one to hang it. And that one will be done. So, there's number 2. Let's see. So there's 2 of them. Now, what am I going to do special for this one? It kind of needs some red on it. Maybe I should have put a red band on it and brought it in. I don't know. Let me think. Since this is a pet one, I had a little bit of fabric. This has a little red in it. I think I'm just going to make my band out of this. So this is my top. I'm going to make him a little bit longer, and he's going to be a little bit taller because I want it to go up definitely, and I need it longer than the feet. Up just a hair more. Make sure that nose. Okay. So here goes nothing. Let's see. That's his feet. Let's go 1 3/4 and do that. It'd be cuter since it's longer. I mean, I still got to do a seam. It won't be quite this long. Great. Did I go up this one? Okay, so we're gonna get rid of this one. That's trash. This is going to be the new one. It actually kind of looks like the dog. And it's got a red collar, so that's cute. This is enough. We're just gonna line it in this. If it is. Yep, just enough. And I think since this fabric's thicker, I'm not putting the inner lining in this one. So now I just need to sew that and these two together. we'll have a puppy dog to go on this one. Okay, so here's our puppy dog. I need to go across the bottom a seam. I have this fear of people not liking anything I make. I make custom drapes and bedding, and people pay me a lot of money to do that, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's just when I make stuff for gifts and for other people, like not custom drapes and bedding, I think people probably think it's terrible or tacky, but I look on other places and people charge a fortune for this stuff. So I'm like, no, it's a nice gift, but I don't know. It's just, I guess, one of my fears that it's not good enough. So I'm gonna put my seams together here. It should match up there. And I had cut these extra wide. I know you're probably wondering about my seam allowance here, but these are extra wide. It was for some reason, so I'm having to do like an inch or something so it doesn't buckle up, or I'd have to redo everything I sewed. I should cut my pattern off, but I'm afraid I'll make it too short, so I just know I have to sew a good seam allowance here, like an inch. Okay, so this one I probably need to press down more, but I'll press it down later. So here's my little puppy dog. Oh, I need to cut that seam out. See how it's bulky down there like that? Even though I don't have interline, it's still a pretty good bit of thickness there. So, makes it do better. And that's another reason I back tack really good, because that's where, see how much difference that made? Now we can iron it and lay it down, and it'll be nice and neat. And since this is a stocking, I'd rather that seam roll to the back a little bit. This one's just not sticking together. Okay. Oh, you didn't see anything I just did. Sorry. So I just trimmed that little edge off the top, and I pressed it so it's ready to go. Cute little puppy. The red collar just sets it off for Christmas. Let's take this, get this other piece of interlining and put it where it needs to go so it can thicken up my stockings and they'll hang pretty. So we're going to sew around these. Two and these two. We have another stocking. Trying to get my hands in there so I can turn that seam, make sure it kind of pops on out. And that little heel that likes to roll a little bit. And stocking number 3. We'll do some pressing and that will be good. So we're going to put stocking number 3 in there this way. So I know that's where it's got to go and figure out where to sew it. You think by now I'd remember. Keep working it around until you get back to the beginning. I just make sure all layers are together as I sew. I just peep up in there as I undo a pin, make sure I've got the front and the back, the middle, and everything's together. Woo! I'm used to sewing longer, bigger things, so kind of gets a little carried away with me sometimes. End, trim your thread. Let's get this one on here. See what this little puppy dog looks like. That's the back. So say that's the wrong puppy dog. So now, if anybody wants any extra, it can be pom-pom trim, this and that. This is a boy dog, so I wouldn't worry about it. But if it's a girl, I've got some little onion white fringe that would be pretty. Looks like little onions hanging and this and that. Dress it up as a girl. But this is a boy, I'm not. But you could always put any kind of trim. You can glue it on underneath back there and let it hang, or on the front. You can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I finished pressing this one. My phone died, so I had to get the iPad. So I've got this one all pressed under and everything like that. So this one goes over here like that. And there are my stockings. Now, I'm going to go get me some little ties. I think I cut them about 3 inches. I go in here. This is a seam. You can see that seam. I top stitch it really well in there. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of those. And then I'll show you how I put the names on there. Too much, so let's see what that is. I think it's 6 inches. One, two, 3. It's easier making stuff. Actually, I bought this for another project, and I'm through with that, so I'm just going to go down in here. And my string just undone. Isn't that just what you get every time you're sewing? Something's going to come undone. Okay. Now let's try this again. Okay, thread, go back up under there. Loopy, like that. lot of thickness there with it being tucked under. Okay, one more. Just put you back under there. I don't need to have to thread you again. Okay, now I'm going to roll that over so it's kind of got a little tuck in it, and it kind of, unless that again. Yep. And I might need to press him a little bit more because that one wants to go. There's your little puppy dog. Okay. Now throw sewing those. Okay, so we have the truck. I don't know if you can see it. Female. Oh yeah, it's a puppy dog. This one really turned out cute. I don't know. Okay, so, oh, we can't finish yet. I forgot about that. Okay, we're gonna set those to the side. Let's see the tags now. I had to order these. It has some little strings already with them and everything, which we don't need but 3. And I'm probably just gonna put one of these each on it because the strings aren't that long. I'd love to have them a little longer, but okay. So use paint pen on these little wooden 1, 2, 3. Most of them are printed that I do. I do like to do some that is more, I don't know, like calligraphy type thing. Not exactly calligraphy. I'm trying to make sure the pink's out so I can paint now. After it dries, you can go over it again. I really don't like the way that looks. So the good thing about this, you can wet it and wipe it off again. So, let's try it again. Maybe I should do cursive. How does that look? Okay. We're going to let it dry and I'm going to come back. There. So I'll have to go back over those. Let me see how I want to do it too. I know there's so many different ways. I don't know. I guess we'll try it this way and see if this works. I don't like that. Yes, I'm using my camouflage paint pants. Let's see if we can try this again. feel like I could do better. Let's try that. We'll add some print with some other. We'll do that. Now let's go back over this one. Sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times to get it to be pretty. Let that one dry, and we'll see if we need to go over it one more time. And I may put some that's print. I like my print to be real skinny and on this end only. Real close together, but I may try to do a second set. That way they can flip it over. Then I bring these two together. Kind of twist them a little bit, 'cause sometimes they don't want to go through these little holes. Like that. Sometimes both of them don't want to come through though. Okay, so there's my name tag. And I'm just going to tie this top with a double knot, and I pull from this way to get it back a little shorter. So, okay. And this is what I do. Is I put it over that, and then you have a name tag. Let's grab this one. I've done this one second. So. And it still needs to dry. I'm just not touching it. It can dry laying over there on that stocking. Didn't come out, so you had to be very careful. See, it just wadded up. May have to use another one. That one, I'll have to start another one. So it'll, it's staying. There. I just loop it through that, and that way they could take them off or put them on. If they don't like the tags on them, that's fine. If they want the tags, that's fine. They could paint the tags a different color. They could have, you can have vinyl done on the tags also. You could, there's so many different things you could do to them. So they could always flip them over and have somebody do some vinyl lettering for the other side. It's more professional. Family members. I guess I'm going to tell you because I've got to give these away before I post the video. I'll do it later. But this one is for my mother-in-law and stepfather-in-law and their puppy Tonka. It's not a puppy no more, but he's still little. I made some for my sister and my brothers because they had wanted some. Didn't think about somebody else wanting any. Like I said, I make homemade stuff. I think it's not good enough, even though you can sell it and make good money on Etsy and stuff. And she saw them, thought they were, I guess she liked them, so here. I don't know, that kind of looks grainy. Let's see if I can put that up. So, there's Tonka's. I'm sure he'll probably get it full of treats. Anyway, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some more projects, gifts. You never know. Cleaning, cooking, children, whatever. Just stay tuned, like and subscribe, and when something pops up, check it out and see if you like it. Hope you have a blessed day.